A quiet story about losing certainty. I think it started the day I forgot to buy milk. Not forgot exactly. I'd bought oat milk instead. I remembered standing in the shop, looking at both cartons, choosing the oat. I was sure of it. But when I got home, Marcus was holding the fridge door open, staring at the empty shelf where the milk should have been. "I thought you were going shopping," he said. "I did. I got oat milk." "Where is it?" I looked at the bags on the counter. Bread, tomatoes, cheese, no oat milk. "I must have left it at the checkout," I said. He closed the fridge gently. "It's fine. I'll have my coffee black." I apologized. He said it wasn't a problem. He smiled. It was a kind smile. But I kept thinking about it for the rest of the day. I could see myself putting that carton in the bag. Part 1. We'd been living together for 8 months when I started keeping a list. Not a list of problems, just small things I wanted to remember. Appointments, dates, things I'd said I would do. Marcus had suggested it one evening after I'd double-booked us for dinner. I'd agreed to meet his colleague on the same night I'd promised to visit my sister. "You've been doing that a lot lately," he said, "forgetting things, mixing up plans." I didn't think I had been, but he pulled up the calendar on his phone and showed me 3 other times in the past month when I'd got something wrong. "I'm not annoyed," he said. "I just think you're stressed. Maybe writing things down would help." So I started the list. It was just a notes app on my phone at first. Small things. Buy bread. Call dentist. Marcus's mum's birthday. Then I started adding other things. Conversations we'd had. Things I'd promised. Details I didn't want to forget. Marcus noticed after a few weeks. "That's good," he said, looking over my shoulder while I typed. "You're taking it seriously." I didn't know what he meant by it, but I nodded anyway. I worked from home 3 days a week. Marcus worked in the city, long hours, often late. On the days I was home, I liked the quiet. I'd make coffee, sit at the kitchen table, work through emails and spreadsheets and reports. The flat was small but bright. We'd moved in together quickly. Maybe too quickly, but it had felt right. He'd found the place, sorted the deposit, dealt with the landlord. "You've got enough on your plate," he'd said at the time. "Let me handle it." I'd been grateful. Now I wondered sometimes if I should have been more involved. Not that it mattered. The flat was fine. The rent was reasonable. Everything worked. Except the lock on the bathroom door, which stuck. And the bedroom window, which didn't open all the way. And the kitchen drawer that jammed if you pulled it too hard. One afternoon, I was on a call with a client when Marcus came home early. He appeared in the doorway with his jacket still on. "How was your day?" he asked. "Fine, busy. You're home early." "Meeting got cancelled?" He looked at the table. My laptop, my notebooks, the mug I'd been drinking from since morning. "You've been working in here all day?" "Yeah, why?" "Nothing. Just thought you might want some air." I hadn't thought about it, but now that he mentioned it, I realized I hadn't left the flat since breakfast. "I'm fine," I said. He nodded. "Okay, just checking." He went into the bedroom and closed the door. I sat there for a moment staring at my screen. Then I stood up, walked to the window, and opened it as far as it would go. That evening, Marcus made dinner. He was a good cook. Better than me. He liked doing it, he said. It relaxed him. I sat at the counter and watched him chop vegetables with quick, precise movements. "How's your sister?" he asked. "Fine, I think. I haven't spoken to her in a while." "You should call her." "I will." He glanced at me. "When?" "Soon. You said that last week." I didn't remember saying that, but I didn't argue. "I'll call her tomorrow," I said. He smiled. "Good. She worries about you." I didn't think that was true. My sister and I weren't close. We messaged occasionally, saw each other every few months. But Marcus had met her a few times and seemed convinced they'd bonded. "She told me she thinks you're stressed," he said, sliding pasta into boiling water. "When did she say that?" "Last time we saw her, at that pub." I tried to remember. The pub had been loud, we'd barely spoken. I'd spent most of the evening playing with my nephew while Marcus and my sister talked at the bar. "She didn't mention it to me," I said. "She probably didn't want to worry you." I watched him stir the pasta. "What else did she say?" "Nothing bad. She just cares about you." He looked at me again, his expression soft. "We both do." I called my sister the next day. She answered on the 4th ring, sounding distracted. "Hey, everything okay?" "Yeah, just wanted to catch up." "Oh, sure, hold on." I heard her talking to someone in the background, then a door closing. "Okay, what's up?" "Nothing, I just haven't talked to you in a while." "I know, sorry, work's been insane." We talked for 10 minutes. I waited for a gap in the conversation, then said, "Marcus mentioned you were worried about me." There was a pause. "Worried?" "He said you thought I seemed stressed." "Oh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. You did seem a bit quiet last time we met. But I wouldn't say I was worried." "Right." Another pause. "Is everything okay?" she asked. "Yeah, fine. I wanted to check." "Check what?" "Nothing. Never mind." She laughed, but it sounded uncertain. "You're being weird." "Sorry, ignore me." We talked for a few more minutes, then said goodbye. I sat on the sofa, staring at my phone. Maybe Marcus had misunderstood, or maybe she'd forgotten saying it, or maybe I was overthinking. Part 2. A few days later, I went out for coffee with a friend I hadn't seen in months. Her name was Laura. She asked about Marcus. I told her things were good. "You seem happy," she said. "I am." She smiled. "Good, you deserve it." I wanted to believe her. We talked about work, her boyfriend, a holiday she was planning. Then she said, "Do you still see Rachel?" "Who?" "Rachel, your friend from uni. You used to meet up with her all the time." I tried to remember. The name was familiar, but I couldn't picture her face. "I don't think so," I said. "Really? You were obsessed with her." I laughed. "Obsessed?" "Okay, maybe not obsessed, but you talked about her constantly. You went to that pottery class together, and that gig in Camden." I didn't remember a pottery class. Or a gig. "Are you sure that was me?" I asked. She frowned. "Yeah, definitely. You showed me photos." I felt something shift in my chest. Small, uncomfortable. "I don't remember her," I said. Laura looked at me for a long moment. "That's weird," she said. That night I searched my phone for Rachel. Nothing. I checked my photos, my messages, my social media. Nothing. I must have deleted her. Or maybe Laura had mixed me up with someone else, but I couldn't shake the feeling that she was right. I went into the bedroom. Marcus was reading. "Do you know anyone called Rachel?" I asked. He looked up. "Rachel?" "Yeah, Laura said I used to be friends with her, from uni." He thought for a moment. "Doesn't ring a bell." "You're sure?" "Pretty sure. Why?" I can't remember her." He put his book down. Maybe Laura got confused. Maybe. He reached for my hand. "You okay?" I nodded, but I wasn't sure. I started noticing other gaps. A colleague I couldn't place. A restaurant I had no memory of visiting, even though Marcus insisted we'd been there twice. A conversation I'd apparently had with his mother, which she referenced on the phone, but I couldn't recall at all. "You're probably just tired," Marcus said. "You work too much." He was probably right. I did work a lot, long hours, late nights. Marcus had suggested I cut back. "You don't need to take on so much," he said. "I can cover rent if you need a break." I'd told him I was fine, but now I wondered if he'd been right. Maybe I was burning out. One evening, I found an old diary in a box under the bed. It was from 3 years ago, the year before I met Marcus. I flipped through it. Most of the entries were mundane: work, coffee, gym. But one entry, dated April, mentioned someone called Rachel. Met R for lunch. She's thinking of moving to Manchester. Wish she wouldn't. I'd miss her. I read it twice. Then I checked the next few entries. More mentions of Rachel, a pottery class, a gig, exactly what Laura had said. I sat on the floor holding the diary. I tried to picture her. Blonde, brunette, tall, short, nothing. I asked Marcus about the diary. "Where did you find this?" he asked, turning it over in his hands. "Under the bed." "Weird. I didn't know you kept a diary." "I did, for a while." He flipped through it. "Do you want to keep it?" "I don't know. Maybe." He handed it back. "It's up to you, but I wouldn't dwell on the past too much. It's not healthy." He said it gently, like a suggestion, like advice. Part 3. I stopped mentioning Rachel. I stopped mentioning the gaps. But I kept noticing them. A voicemail from a number I didn't recognize. A notification on my calendar for an event I'd never agreed to attend. I checked my list. It wasn't there. Marcus said I must have added it and forgotten, but I didn't think I had. I started checking my phone more often, my messages, my call history, my notes. Small things kept disappearing, or appearing. I couldn't tell which. One day, I found a message thread with someone called David that I didn't remember sending. The messages were short, polite, about meeting for coffee. The conversation had started 2 weeks ago. I clicked on the contact. No photo, no email, just a phone number. I showed Marcus. "Do you know who this is?" I asked. He squinted at the screen. "No idea. Did you message them?" "I must have, but I don't remember." He handed the phone back. "Maybe it's a work thing." Maybe. But it didn't feel like a work thing. That night, I called the number. It rang 4 times, then went to voicemail. A man's voice. Calm, professional. "Hi, you've reached David. Leave a message." I hung up. I checked the message thread again. The last message was from me 3 days ago. "Sorry, I can't make it. Maybe another time." I didn't remember writing that. Marcus asked if I wanted to see a doctor. "I'm worried about you," he said. "You've been forgetting a lot." "I'm fine. Are you?" I didn't answer. He sat beside me on the sofa. "I'm not trying to criticize you. I just think maybe you're stressed, or maybe something's going on, medically." "Like what?" "I don't know. That's why I think you should get checked out." He put his hand on my knee. "I just want to help," he said. I believed him. I made an appointment. The doctor asked questions, took notes, ran some tests. Everything came back normal. "It's probably stress," she said. "Do you have a lot going on at the moment?" "I work from home, freelance." "That can be isolating. Do you get out much?" I thought about it. Not really. She suggested I try exercising more, socializing, taking breaks. And if it continues, come back and we'll explore other options. I thanked her and left. Marcus seemed relieved when I told him. "See, it's just stress, nothing to worry about." "Right. You should take some time off, go see your sister, or meet up with Laura." "Maybe." He kissed my forehead. "I'm glad you're okay." But I wasn't okay. I couldn't explain it. Everything Marcus said made sense. Everything the doctor said made sense. But something felt wrong. I started testing myself. Small things. I'd leave a cup on the counter, go to the bathroom, come back. Sometimes the cup had moved. Not far, just a few inches. I'd ask Marcus if he'd moved it. "No, why would I? It was over there." "Are you sure?" I wasn't sure. One day I found my laptop open. I'd closed it before going for a walk. I was certain. When I opened it, the screen showed my notes app, my list. But some of the entries had been changed. Small edits. A date moved forward. A task marked as complete that I hadn't finished. I sat down slowly. "Marcus!" I called. He appeared in the doorway. "Yeah?" "Did you use my laptop?" "No. Why?" "Someone's been in my notes." He frowned. "Are you sure?" I showed him the screen. He leaned in. "Maybe you edited it and forgot." "I didn't." "How do you know?" I couldn't answer. He sighed. "I think you need to take a break. You're spiraling." Part 4. I stopped trusting my memory. I started taking photos. Of the flat before I left, of my laptop screen, of the position of objects on the counter. I didn't tell Marcus. I checked the photos every day. Sometimes things matched, sometimes they didn't. I couldn't tell if I was imagining it or if something was genuinely changing. One evening, Marcus asked to see my phone. "Why?" I asked. "I just want to check something." "Check what?" "Laura messaged me. She said you've been acting strange. I want to see if there's something going on." My chest tightened. "What did she say?" "She said you keep asking her about people she doesn't know, and that you seem paranoid." "I'm not paranoid." "Then show me your phone." I didn't want to, but I handed it to him. He scrolled through my messages. My photos. He stopped on the photos of the flat. "What's this?" he asked. "Nothing." "You've been taking photos of the kitchen?" I didn't answer. He looked at me. His expression was soft, concerned. "This isn't normal," he said. He suggested I take a break. A real break. "Go stay with your sister for a few days," he said. "Get some distance." "I don't need distance." "I think you do." He said it so gently, so reasonably. I wanted to argue, but I couldn't find the words. I didn't go to my sister's, but I did stop taking photos. I stopped checking my phone obsessively. I stopped asking Marcus questions. I tried to let it go. Then one morning, I found the diary again. It was on the kitchen counter. I'd put it back in the box under the bed. I was sure of it. I picked it up. It was open to the page about Rachel. But now there was something written underneath in pen. Fresh ink. "You don't know her. You made her up." I stared at the words. The handwriting looked like mine, but I hadn't written it. I knew I hadn't. I didn't show Marcus. I hid the diary in my bag. That afternoon, while he was at work, I left the flat. I went to a library, used their computer, searched for Rachel. Nothing on social media, no mutual friends, no photos. It was like she'd never existed. I called Laura. "Do you remember what Rachel looked like?" I asked. "What?" "Rachel, from uni. You said I was friends with her. Do you remember her?" There was a long pause. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Just answer the question." I don't know. I can't picture her." "But you said I talked about her. You said I showed you photos." "Did I say that?" "Yes, you did." "I don't remember saying that." My hands were shaking. "Laura, please." "I'm sorry," she said. "I have to go." She hung up. Part 5. That evening, Marcus was in the kitchen when I got home. He was making dinner. He didn't turn around when I came in. "How was your day?" he asked. "Fine." "Where did you go?" "Just out." "Where?" I hesitated. "The library." He turned, holding a wooden spoon. "Why?" "I wanted to look something up." "On their computer?" "Yeah." He smiled. "You know you can use mine if yours isn't working." "Mine's fine." "Then why go to the library?" I didn't answer. He set the spoon down, wiped his hands on a towel. "You're checking up on me," he said. "You think I'm doing something. That's why you've been so paranoid." "I'm not." "It's okay." He stepped closer. "I understand. You're stressed. You're not thinking clearly. It's not your fault." His voice was calm, too calm. "I'm not paranoid," I said. "Then what were you doing at the library?" "I was looking for someone." "Who?" "Rachel." He blinked. "Who's Rachel?" "You know who she is." "I don't." "Laura told me about her. I wrote about her in my diary." He picked up the towel again, folding it slowly. "I think," he said, "you need to talk to someone." "I talked to the doctor." "Not a doctor, a therapist." I felt something cold settle in my chest. "Why?" "Because this isn't normal. You're inventing people. You're taking photos of our home. You're accusing me of what? I don't even know." "I'm not inventing anything." "Then where is she? This Rachel person? Show me a photo, a message, anything." I couldn't. "That's what I thought," he said. I went to bed early that night. Marcus stayed in the living room. I lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling. I tried to think clearly, to piece it together, but everything felt slippery, unreliable. I didn't know what was real anymore. The next morning, I found my laptop open again, my notes app, my list. It had been deleted, all of it. Gone. I stood there, staring at the empty screen. Then I closed the laptop. I didn't ask Marcus if he'd done it. I already knew what he'd say. I packed a bag that afternoon, just some clothes, my phone, the diary. Marcus was at work. I left a note on the counter. "I need some space. I'm staying with my sister for a few days." I didn't go to my sister's. I went to a hotel, a small one, near the train station. I paid in cash. I sat on the bed, staring at the wall. I felt numb, untethered. I kept thinking about the diary, the entry I didn't write, the handwriting that looked like mine. I pulled it out of my bag, flipped through the pages, and then I saw it, at the very back, another entry, recent, dated yesterday. He's been in my phone. I know he has, but I can't prove it. Every time I try to show someone, the evidence is gone. Every time I try to explain, I sound insane. Maybe I am. Maybe he's right. Maybe I made all of this up. But I don't think so. I think he wants me to believe I'm losing my mind. And I think it's working. I read it twice. The handwriting was mine, but I didn't remember writing it. I didn't remember writing any of it. I called my sister from the hotel room. She answered quickly. "Where are you?" she asked. "How did you know?" "Marcus called me. He's worried. He said you left. He said you've been struggling, that you've been paranoid, that you accused him of going through your things." I closed my eyes. He's lying. Why would he lie? I don't know, but he is. There was a pause. "Where are you?" she asked again. "I can't tell you, because you'll tell him." "He's trying to help you." "No, he's not." "Then what's he doing?" I couldn't answer. She sighed. "Come stay with me, please. Let's talk about this properly." "I can't, because I don't know if I can trust you." The line went quiet. Then she said, "I'm your sister." "I know." "Then trust me." I wanted to, but I couldn't. Part 6. I stayed in the hotel for 3 days. I didn't leave the room. I ordered food, watched television, tried to think. On the 3rd day, there was a knock at the door. I looked through the peephole. Marcus. I stepped back. "I know you're in there," he said. "Please, just open the door. I want to talk." "How did you find me?" "Your sister told me you called. I checked nearby hotels. I just want to make sure you're okay." "I'm fine." "You don't sound fine." I pressed my forehead against the door. "Please leave," I said. "Not until we talk." I didn't move. After a long moment, I heard him sit down outside. "I'll wait," he said. He stayed there for hours. I sat on the bed, listening to the silence. Eventually, I opened the door. He was leaning against the wall opposite, phone in hand. He looked up, smiled. "Hey," he said, "how long were you going to wait?" "As long as it took." I didn't invite him in. He stood slowly. Can we talk? About what? About what's going on. You already know what's going on. I know you think I've been messing with your head, but I haven't. Then why is everything changing? Because you're not well. Stop saying that. It's true. I wanted to hit him, or scream, or cry, but I just stood there. I'm not crazy, I said. I didn't say you were. You're implying it. I'm trying to help you by making me doubt myself. He shook his head. I would never do that. But his voice was too steady, too calm, too sure. I let him into the room. I don't know why. He sat on the edge of the bed. I sat in the chair by the window. I'm not trying to control you, he said. I know it feels that way, but I'm not. Then what are you doing? Caring about you. By going through my phone, by moving things, by editing my notes. I haven't done any of that. Then who has? He didn't answer. We sat in silence for a long time. Then he said, Do you remember when we first met? Yes. Do you remember what you told me? I didn't. You said you'd spent your whole life feeling lost, like you didn't know who you were. You said you wanted someone to help you figure it out. I didn't remember saying that, but it sounded like something I might have said. I've been trying to do that, he said, to help you, to make things easier, but you keep fighting me. I'm protecting you from yourself. I asked him to leave. He didn't argue. He stood, walked to the door, then turned back. I'll be at home, he said, when you're ready. I didn't go back. I stayed at the hotel for another week. Then I found a new flat, small, cheap, far from where Marcus and I had lived. I didn't tell him where I was going. I didn't tell anyone. I still don't know what was real. The gaps in my memory, the things that moved, the diary entries I didn't write. Maybe he did all of it. Maybe I imagined all of it. Maybe it was both. Sometimes I still check my phone, looking for messages I don't remember sending, photos I don't remember taking, but I don't find them anymore. I think about calling him sometimes, to ask, to confirm, to understand, but I don't, because I'm afraid of what he'd say, and I'm more afraid that I'd believe him. I've started keeping another list, not in my phone, on paper. I write down what I remember, what I'm sure of, what I think happened. The list is short, but it's mine, and that's enough for now.